What if I told you that you could get a train from Norman Park to Carindale? Well, for a few years in the early 20th century, you could do just that. In this video, I'm going to be walking all the way from Norman Park train station to Carindale along the former and long forgotten Belmont Tramway. Am I interested in trains? Absolutely not. But I am interested in train lines because they often leave an indelible mark in the landscape long after they've been torn out.
In 1903, the Shire of Belmont was created, and there wasn't a lot there. Belmont was stagnating. Land prices had been falling for years. It was felt that the Shire could not properly develop without better transportation, and so the Shire Council decided to make their own railway line, mainly because Queensland Rail wouldn't give them one. It was firmly believed that a new line would stimulate industrial and residential growth. It comprised 8 stations, and the total cost of construction was £20,000, and it opened on the 25th of May, 1912.
And here's our first mention of the Belmont Tramway. This is Bennett's Bushland Park, and it says in the early 1900s the Belmont Tramway ran through this bushland area. That's pretty vague though, because we know that it came through in 1912. So anyway, early 1900s, 1912. Let's go take a look. When you take a look at the trees, you'll see a bus stop. When you look at the trees, you'll see that they're all quite young. This is all regrowth. This isn't an old primary woodland. So at this entrance to the Greening Australia Centre, round about here where I'm standing, that's Bennett's Road just over there, this is where the Belmont Junction tramway station was. And the tram continued right through, went off down that way in that direction there. This was the first station on the line and really the beginning of the journey. Now coming up to the Seven Hills area. Slight little detour here. I've just turned onto Clearview Terrace, and ahead of me is where I went to university back in the 90s. It's all changed now. The university is gone. It was the Queensland College of Art, Griffith University. But there is something I do recognise here, and there's a big tree. Yeah, that's an original tree on the side of the QCA. I remember once, it was 1995, I was walking up the road there on my way to uni for the day, and a car came shooting past me, and there was a girl up ahead over that way there, and she was walking this way, and the car ran off the road. He must have been doing 90 k's an hour. What is this, a 50 or 60 zone? Went off the road, slammed into a sign, which was probably that Seven Hills sign just over there, mowed it down, stopping about a metre in front of that girl, in front of that student. She nearly got wiped out on that day. Oates Skyline Drive. The tramway was, I don't know if it was up here where the road is now or just down the bottom there. The land slopes away quite steeply, so the train line may have been down there, but regardless, this road follows the course of the tramway. This area here was called Seven Hills, named in memory of the 7 hills of ancient Rome. They include, because I've got them here, the Quirinal Hill, the Viminal, the Capitoline, the Esquiline, the Palatine, the Aventine, and the Carleon Hill. In fact, this is Quirinal Crescent right here. Certainly are some lovely houses along here. So what I'm looking for now is the Seven Hills station. I think I'm getting close to it now. You've got to remember that these stations along the Belmont Tramway were not like the train stations we have today. These were more or less like bus stops, a single shed, a single little shelter or something. I don't even really know if they were called stations. I think they were just called stops. So that's Claudia Street just over that way. So I think the Seven Hills stop was about there on that green patch there in the middle of the road. When the train line came through here, and unfortunately for it, nobody actually lived here in Seven Hills. The stop was put just over there, but virtually nobody ever used it. Just crossed the road to come up to the high side of Oates Skyline Drive, mainly because there's supposed to be information boards along this road and further along, indicating where the trackway was and where the stations were. But I haven't found any down on that side, so maybe the line was up here. Skyline readers, a little tiny library you can help yourself to. Whenever I find one of these things, there's always two constants in them. A Daniel Steele book and a Wilbur Smith book, and there they are. You'll find them in every tiny little library like this across the planet. This is the first sign. Historic Belmont Tramway, 1912 to 1926. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, and it just says here, stop location of Seven Hills. I think the information in every board is the same. It was Claudius Street. I haven't found Claudius Street yet. Evidently, quality of wits is more important than quantity. Now this is interesting and unexpected. The sign says Heritage Pathway, circa 1925, access to Porteous Drive. 1925, so that was a year before the tramway closed. There's a big crow right there. There he goes. Go and have a look. Okay, it's craptacular. I've just found the next sign here. This is the Mount Bruce stop sign, but this is really confusing because this one now faces back to the other side of the road where I was. I thought it would have been facing this way. Anyway, this is the Mount Bruce stop. It's clear. I've got to go down Ferguson Street. That's the closest road to where the line used to be. Ferguson Road. I thought it was Ferguson Street. Little corner store. That's a really old one. Little tiny thing. See that over there? I wonder what its story is. There's a sports oval here next to Ferguson Road, and I'm pretty sure that's where the train line curved through down that way. It's on somebody's map that the train line came along this road, but it didn't. This is a later road. I was just thinking, this is the way I used to do videos. I would start at one place, walk on a long journey, and complete it at the end, point A to point B. Most of my documentaries that I've been doing lately are more about, you know, I go here, I drive there, I walk there, I catch a bus over there, I zip around all over the place and construct it in the edit chronologically in terms of, you know, what things happen in what year. But in this video, it's just, I'm following a train line. It's very linear. It's the way I used to do videos, and it's nice, despite it being a very hot day. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know how much you're suffering, but I'm having a good time. I'm going to make a left, and there should be a sign just around the corner somewhere talking about the City View stop. That's the next station. Okay, yeah, the train line came across the road and curved around here. Big loop, probably just at the back of that property there, back of that house. It would have curved and continued on straight ahead of me that way. Turn it around. City View stop. This is it, right here on Old Cleveland Road. No view of the city from here, though. I guess if you walked back along that way there, you might see it. But there we go, Old Cleveland Road, City View stop. And just ahead is the Camp Hill Hotel. I've never been there before. How do you do? Good, mate. Yeah, I watch your videos all the time. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yeah. I was just doing a video on the Belmont Tramway. Oh. Yeah, I could do a whole video just on Old Cleveland Road.
Yeah, keep it up, mate.
Thank you for that. All right, what's your name, sir?
Zach.
Zach.
Yeah, mate. Bye.
You go. Bye-bye. Camp Hill Hotel. And it's just over there. Alright. First impressions. Oh, I don't do impressions. Looks like it was built in the 50s or 60s. And it's behind this BWS drive-through bottle shop. There it is over there. I mean, it was a real hotel. You could stay here. That's why it's on a busy main road. Camp Hill Hotel. I'll come here later for lunch. See what the monkey wants.
Discover the dark heart of the capital of the Sunshine State on the Bloody Brisbane CBD Crime Tour. Visit true crime scenes including the last public execution, the Regent Theatre shootout, the arcade murder, wartime crime, and the lady who vanished. Join me, Jack Sim, and my team of guides to discover Brisbane's criminal history. Book a public or private tour at crimetoursaustralia.com.au.
Here I am on Old Cleveland Road, just waiting for the traffic to pass because I want to get into the middle of the road. The reason why I'm walking into the middle of Old Cleveland Road is because of these. You can see old trackways here. Now, the story behind these is this is where the Belmont Tramway used to run, right here on this exact same spot. Later on, when the trains were gotten rid of, the trams came through here. They had to change the gauge. There was a different width of the rails. Don't ask me what the gauge was. But when the trams came through here, they utilised exactly the same course, right through on this exact same spot. So if I was here in the 1920s, you'd have steam trains coming through here on the Belmont Tramway. Later on, up until 1969, you had the trams coming through. It is certainly dangerous crossing Old Cleveland Road. Had to come back up here to get another shot. It's not that I'm afraid of death, I just don't want to be there when it happens. So it's still over there, that raised area in the background, that's where the tramway used to be. This is Mayfield Road here, that's Old Cleveland Road there. I'm looking for the site of the next station, Mayfield Stop, and not seeing it yet. It might just be a little bit further around this corner, unless it's jumped to the other side of the road, but I don't think so. I'll keep going along and see if I can find it. Some traffic lights over there. It is. Alright, I've got to cross the road. I don't really have much information about this particular stop. I do have a photo though from its opening. Here it is. Just leaving Mayfield Stop now, and ahead of me the land slopes downwards before rising up again, and it's where it rises up again is the site of our next station, and that's Carindale Station. Getting close to Carindale. Still on Old Cleveland Road, and behind me is the Belmont Recreation Reserve, little playground for kids. Train line, it was coming along here and it diverted through the park, which is that way, and then up that way. It didn't go through the modern cutting where Old Cleveland Road is today. What a nice little spot that is down there for the kids to play on, a little miniature Belmont Tramway thingamajig. Yes, I'm looking for Carindale Stop now. That's the next one. You know, I've got a funny feeling that this may actually be part of the Old Cleveland Road, but I think this narrow cot street is maybe a very old one. It just has that old country feel about it, a little bit windy. Some bushland left over there, though that'd be regrowth as well. I don't know yet where the tramway stop was. There's something here though. Look at this. See that? I don't know where that goes, so I'm going to have a look. There's some stonework down there. They're in a line. I'm here, and the Carindale Station is just a little bit further up there, which I think is over that way. But that's Creek Road just there, and this is Old Cleveland Road, and Carindale Shopping Centre is down here. Yeah, Carindale Shopping Centre is just over there. So this hill that I'm on here, and which was part of that hill over there, explains why the Belmont Tramway went around it. You can see on the map how the line suddenly makes a curve, a detour north, before heading south back down to resume then its easterly journey towards its final destination, which was Belmont Station, or Belmont Stop. It's because of this hill here. So there's the reserve I just walked through, and I can see ahead of me there another station sign. There's some brickwork here, like this was the entrance to something once. I'll go and have a look. So that's definitely the gates to some former premises or building up that dead-end road there. This would have been a road coming through here, and I guess they would have had signs out the front saying what this is. Just going to that next sign. This is the site location of Carindale. Here we are, another one. That's the next station sign. So the Belmont Services Bowls Club is on Thorn Street, just over there. This land was owned by a guy called Ebenezer Thorne, and it was his daughter, I think, who was Kate Carindale, and that's how the suburb got its name. I've got to get across Creek Road. So we're at the major intersection of Old Cleveland Road and Creek Road. The train line came down either on this bit of ground here or just on where the main Creek Road is now. Somewhere around about here, it crossed the road over that way on the Carindale shopping centre side and went fairly close to where the shopping centre is now and curved and came back up, paralleling the current Old Cleveland Road. So the next station I'm looking for is Springfield Station. There was also a sighting for a wool scourer, I believe it was a primary industry. Oh, there it is. All right, here we are. Tramway station, it was called stop location of Baines siding. On some maps it shows up as Springfield Station, and this was where the siding was. So a siding is just, yeah, what's got it here, wool scour and fellmongery. It's a lovely word, fellmongery. Okay, so that means I've got to keep going along Old Cleveland Road. I'm just going to have a little poke around down here, because that might be part of Bulimba Creek. On the homeward stretch now, I'm approaching the last station on this journey, and that's Belmont Station. I'm not exactly sure how much further up it is, maybe 700-800 metres, not really sure. Last stop is up near Belmont State School. And there it is. There's the final sign. The very last station on the Belmont Tramway. Station location of Belmont. That's it. You can see here in this photograph of Belmont train station, on the day it was open, there's a large group photo. Everyone is dutifully looking at the camera, except for two ladies who are gas bagging in the background.
The whole line closed barely 3 years later in 1915. Due to a lack of interest, and so the Shire of Belmont sold its trains. It reopened in late 1915 as a result of local agitation and was operated by Queensland Railways, who supplied new trains on behalf of the Shire. The Shire, however, was supposed to pay for the line's upkeep, but for whatever reason, they sometimes failed to do so. The line closed again in 1924, but in 1925 it very briefly reopened. However, this was the year when the city of Brisbane was established, and the Shire of Belmont was amalgamated within it. And Brisbane City Council had no wish to fund the tramway, as it was clearly a dud. So it was shut down and officially closed in 1926, with buses taking over parts of the route.
So why did the Belmont Tramway fail? I mean, everyone thought it was a good idea at the time. The problem was it just didn't stimulate residential and industrial growth. But they did what they thought was right. They took a stand and made their vision a reality. So regardless of whether the tramway was a success or obviously a failure, that ultimately doesn't matter. They believed in the project and did something about it. And I think you've really got to respect that. Thanks very much for being part of this journey along the old Belmont Tramway. If you like the video, please consider liking it and also subscribing to my channel if you haven't already done so. I'll see you again on my next walk. This is Mayfield Street. Is it street? I don't know, I should have checked that. Mayfield Road. I always get that wrong. Mayfield Road, Mayfield Road, Mayfield Road, Mayfield Road, Mayfield Road, Mayfield Road. I'm here on Mayfield Street.